Hi, my name is Annabelle. I'm a certified sommelier, and I am the restaurant manager and sommelier at Il Palio in Chapel Hill. And today we are going to be tasting a wine, the Podere Sapaio Popolo. It's the 2016 vintage, and I'm really excited to share this wine with you guys today. I will be going through the deductive tasting method. So this is the 5-step process that sommeliers use to determine what kind of wine you're tasting. So I'm really excited. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the bottle to kind of determine what we can gather from it. The first thing that we think of is we try and look for the date. This bottle right here is a 2016, and that is the year that the grapes were harvested. So a lot of people think it's how long the grapes have kind of been hanging out or when they decide to release the wine, but it's actually the year that the grapes were picked from the vineyard. The next thing we try and look at is to see the IGT, the DOCG, the category level of this wine. So whether you're drinking American wine, French wine, or Italian wine, you're going to always look for the quality level. This right here underneath Toscana Rosa says IGT, so we know that it's part of the IGT classification. All right, so now that we've kind of examined the bottle to look for the two things, the vintage and the classification level, we can go ahead and pour the wine into the glass. It looks great. So the first thing that we're going to look at is sight. So first of all, we're looking at the color of wine. We're looking at the viscosity, the thickness of the wine. One thing that we look at is the rim variation. So with red wines, we can determine that they are either purple, they are ruby, or they are garnet. So Kristen, if you want to give us a good guess over what this wine is, if it's ruby, garnet, or purple.
So for me, maybe I would say garnet, but I could be wrong.
I see garnet as like a secondary color in this. I would say this is right on ruby.
Okay.
So purple is normally wines that have really high pigmentation. So if you think about Malbec, or a lot of Syrah or Shiraz is going to have that really high concentration, a thicker skin, and that'll leave the residual on the glass. So we can say this wine is ruby with a secondary color of garnet. The next thing we're going to look at is the legs. That's how slowly the legs of the wine are falling. This will give us an indicator as to alcohol content. So if the legs are really close together and they're falling very slowly, the wine has a high alcohol or a high sugar content. So Jordan, if you want to give a great guess and tell us about the legs of the wine, and how slowly are they falling? Are they close together?
I got overeager and poured my wine very high. So it's hard to see the legs exactly, but from what I'm seeing is the alcohol sort of collecting together fairly slowly.
Nice.
And,
yeah.
I think I think it's just pretty slow. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell because there's, they're closer in some places and farther apart in others, but it's an indicator of the surface tension. So we can guess that this wine has a medium plus alcohol content. So another thing we're going to look at is viscosity. This is how thick the wine is. And I would say this wine probably has a medium viscosity. So after we looked at the bottle and we looked at the color of the wine, the next thing we do is give it a smell. There are lots of ways to smell your wine. I always say don't smell like a dog. Don't do lots of little tiny sniffs. You got to do one big long sniff right in the center. And you can tell a lot about a wine just by the smell. So breathe really deeply, do it in one big breath. And we're going to look for a couple of things with the smell. So the first is going to be fruit, and we're going to evaluate fruit in the next step too on the palate. But with red wine, you normally look for black fruit, blue fruit, or red fruit. So if anybody wants to kind of stand up and say what fruit they're getting a lot of here, and it can be lots of different fruits, but normally if it's a single varietal, it'll be a red fruit, a black fruit, or a blue fruit.
I'm gonna guess.
So I'm getting a lot of black fruit. Yes, that's perfect. Any particular black fruit? Blackberry or black? Yes, fresh. Now, are these blackberries, are they really fresh, or are they kind of muddled? Are they blackberries that have been left out in the sun? Are they desiccated? Are they jammy?
I think so.
Yeah, I would say these are definitely jammier blackberries. These are really ripe blackberries. These aren't dried blackberries. You know, and I would say there's some raspberries in here too. So it's some blue and some black fruit. The other thing we're looking for is earth. So there can be all different kinds of earth. There can be freshly tilled potting soil. There can be mushrooms. There can be that wet rock smell. And we're looking for any kind of earth that we can kind of gather. Kristen, do you want to tell us if you think this wine is earthy or not earthy?
For me, maybe I'm wrong, but hopefully I'm correct. I feel like I smell a little bit of mushroom in it.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. These are truffly, mushroomy, very savory, earthy notes. Excellent.
Awesome.
So that's what sommeliers call organic earth. So it's earth that's alive. Inorganic earth would be like wet rock or slate or kind of that like misty minerality. But if there's a lot of that earth, that alive earth, it's organic earth. All right, wonderful. And now comes the fun part. So we get to finally have a taste. So cheers to all. Very exciting.
Delicious.
So you want to keep it in your mouth for a long time. And really kind of feel where it hits in your mouth, if it's in the back of your mouth, if it's on the sides, if you're feeling it up on your teeth. You know, so just take another sip and really just kind of swirl it around, determine where you taste it the most, where the wine is sticking to. And then any other notes of what we talked about earlier. Are we getting more fruit? Are we getting more earth? Look for acidity. So I'm going to have another sip as well. Just kind of really swirl it around, be very rude about it. So Jordan, are you getting black fruits? Are you getting blue fruits? Can you confirm the fruit that you're getting on the palate as opposed to on the nose?
I would say black fruit as well is what I'm tasting. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, so you can confirm the black fruit on the palate as well. What about earth? Can we get any more earth on the palate?
I'm tasting more like a minerality, kind of like maybe like the wet rock, or kind of like a rocky, soily kind of thing going on.
Yeah. I totally get some more of the earthiness, and I do get some of that freshly tilled potting soil on the palate too. Another thing we're going to look for is acidity, and this is a really great indicator of the climate where the grape was from. So does this wine make your mouth water? Are you kind of salivating a little bit? Yeah?
For me,
Awesome.
it is making my mouth water a little bit, and I feel like my mouth is tingling more like on the inside, like my cheeks, and then also like the tip of my tongue tingles a little bit after I like swish it around for a little while.
Nice. So if you're getting any indication on the tip of your tongue, you know there's a little tiny bit of residual sugar in the wine, because that's where all of our sugar receptors are. So if you are tasting a dessert wine, or if you're tasting a wine that normally has a lot of sugar, your tongue will be tingling, the tip of your tongue will be tingling a lot. If you're feeling kind of acidity and structure on the sides of your mouth, that's normally an indicator of tannin. And people talk about tannin all the time. Tannin puckers out your mouth, it makes your mouth dry. And tannin is just residual skin, stem, and seeds that's left over from the grape mush. So it literally sticks to the sides of your mouth, that residual skin and stem and seeds, and dries it out. So we know this wine has a fair amount of tannin. How about acidity? So is your mouth, watering like you just smelled a lemon? Are you kind of feeling like you're drooling? A little bit. It doesn't have a tremendous amount of acidity.
A little bit, yeah. It's not like overly salivating, but there is a slight salivation there.
So that's a really good indicator of a cooler climate wine. So you tend to think if you're blind tasting a wine and a wine is really acidic, that you know that it's from an old world country like Europe or like Italy, not the Americas or Australia. In those warmer climates, there's less acidity. Excellent. And then we look at the last thing, which is the finish. So this time, take a sip of the wine, don't swish it around your mouth, but swallow it and enjoy it. And notice how long it lasts. Has a great finish. Really smooth, really silky. You get some kind of lingering oak notes too, some vanilla, some chocolate that make it really warm. Excellent. So those are the 5 things that you need to know in order to taste wine. You need to look at the label, you need to look at the smell, you gotta taste it, you gotta learn about the earth and the fruit, and then you have to analyze the finish. So hopefully you're gonna be able to taste wine like a champ or like a sommelier. So these packages are offered here at Il Palio for you and up to 20 friends. And they can be a little bit longer, they can be as short or as long as you like. And we don't have to go through one wine, we can go through many wines, but it's a really great opportunity to taste wine with your friends and learn a lot about the wine that you're enjoying. So if you are interested in signing up for any packages, you can feel free to sign up on our website at ilpalio.com.